And hopefully for all you, it stays that way. But I want you to know I brought some catches with me this time, just in case. It is wonderful to be here. And I've always found that when you come to Waitangi for Waitangi Day, often the country sees the discord and sees the debate, but actually it always amazes me that about 99% of the time it's like this. It's actually people talking, people koreroing and enjoying their day. I have a special thing I like to do besides what I talked about. On the morning before Waitangi Day, I like to go for a walk up around the headland here. And today was beautiful because it was a misty morning and it just proved the spirituality of this place. And that spirituality is very important because 178 years ago, two people came together and said, we're going to build a country together. And since that time, yes, there have been many trials and tribulations, many sorrows, many arguments. But as we sit here today, this country has never been more prosperous and more successful than it is today. That's not to say the job is done, because it isn't, and frankly it never will be. But we have made a lot of progress as people that come together after the signing of the treaty all those years ago. We have things that we need to do still. My view is we won't have met the promise of the treaty until such time as every single young person here gets the opportunity across the country to meet their potential and to achieve everything that they're capable of achieving. And until every single person who can't look after themselves is able to be looked after by our community. That is the promise that we're all committed to working on. As I say, there's been much progress in recent times. If you're going to give everybody the opportunity, then everybody must have the education. And we've seen big increases in the number of young Māori achieving NCEA level 2, which is such an important entrance point into life. We've seen big increases in early childhood education, and we've seen very big increases in the number of young university graduates. And that's important too, because in this 21st century, we all need the skills to succeed over the next 50, 80 years. And I look around this region, and I see initiatives like Kaikoui Grow, the resort college down the road here, and see young rangatani getting the opportunity to do things that they wouldn't have been able to do just a few years ago. Of course, economic progress is very important too. Not for its own sake, but because what it might bring. Work, income, confidence, security, the ability to bring up your whānau, and prosperity. And there are good things happening here in the north. There has never been more people in Northland employed as there is today. But I want to take the opportunity to underline the importance of things that still must come. And by that, I will make a brief reference to a certain treaty settlement that comes up for discussion every now and then. Chris Finlayson, the Honourable Chris Finlayson, had the opportunity to sign 58 treaty settlements of the total 84 that's been done to date. I think he thinks of Ngāpuhi as the one that got away. But it is, in my mind anyway, so important that we turn our minds soon to that settlement, collectively. It is not the whole answer for the North, but it is a powerful engine to come for prosperity in Tītai Tokerau. And most importantly, for the prosperity of our young people. These islands that we live in are quite remote. All our ancestors, all of them, had to make quite an effort to get here. We don't have any close neighbours to have arguments with, like most countries do. We tend often to look inwards, and maybe that's why we sometimes accentuate the differences between us as a country. Sometimes it pays to place yourself figuratively or literally outside this country and look back and see how small we are in the world and how important it is that we work together to achieve things. We can be very, very prosperous and happy if we put aside all our differences and work to compete and achieve in this world. That's true partnership. That's the spirit in which the treaty was signed 178 years ago. Thank you for having us here today. I hope that over the next 24 hours, 36 hours, that we celebrate that togetherness and that ability to work together to take on the world and achieve for our children and grandchildren. Kia ora.
Kia tota rangamari o te rangi e tūnei, a papatuanuku e tokote nei, a te taio e awhi nei, ki rungi a tātou. Tihei mauri ora. Tēnā koutou e te taumata o Ngāpui nui tonu. Ko James Shaw toku ingoa, or you can call me Himi Takutai if you want. Ko ahau ti kaiarahi o te rupu kākāriki. I acknowledge and I want to give thanks to all of the leaders and the representatives of te runanga o Ngāpui and te rohi, te hapu o Ngāpui. It is a great honour to be welcomed here again, and I thank you once again for that privilege. I acknowledge this historic land upon which we stand, and in particular this beautiful wharenui, te whare runanga. Kamatua, I heard your kōrero before when you were talking about oneness and togetherness and the spirit which we come here today, and I acknowledge that and say I have heard your kōrero. I turn now to my colleagues and our colleagues in the government, led of course by the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Jacinda Ardern, and the Deputy Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Winston Peters, and to all of our colleagues and ministers and members of Parliament in the Labour parties and New Zealand First, I greet you. In that spirit of oneness, I'm also personally very pleased and I give thanks to our host in Ngāpui for ensuring that Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition is also represented here with us today, because as we bring together and we celebrate the spirit which we came together to found this country, I think that it is important that we do that in a spirit of bipartisanship and non-partisanship, and that we try and hold on to that for at least the next week or so. And so I acknowledge the Honourable Stephen Joyce and all of his colleagues in the National Party who are here with us today as well, and to acknowledge all of the dignitaries, former Prime Minister Ginny Shipley, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, and everybody who has come here today. I think this is, as Mr. Joyce said, it is a fantastic occasion, and it is such an honour to be able to be here and to speak on behalf of Te Pāti Kākāriki today. Kaumātua, I also heard your kōrero about Te Tiriti o Waitangi and the kōrero you had with Minister Andrew Little about that it is about the relationship. And we in Turupu Kākāriki have always stood firmly on the Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and we accepted the findings of the tribunal a few years ago when it said that the rangatira who signed Te Tiriti did not cede their sovereignty. And so it is about a relationship. And as we do draw towards the conclusion of the settlements process, that we see that as the beginning, not as the end. That it gets us started, not brings us to a close. And our challenge in government, and I say this now that Turupu Kākāriki are in government, not just in opposition, that we stick with our word and that we seek to implement that relationship at all levels. And so I make this commitment on behalf of Turupu Kākāriki that we are committed as we enter government, as we start this new path for ourselves, that we live up to that relationship. And so I thank you for reminding us of that with your words this morning. This is a new way that we're starting this, and I just wanted to acknowledge all of the people who have made this possible, and to say that for me personally, and on behalf of Turupu Kākāriki, that the significance that we place upon this occasion cannot be understated. And so I just want to acknowledge the dignity of this moment and of this day. Thank you very much. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Tapa tū ki te rangi whake kaua. Kei runga ko te koti pū, kei raro ko te koti ho. Kei ko nā koutou mihi mai ai ka mau te po. Whiti tū, whiti ora rāne ko te rangi e tū honei ki te papa hora nei aua. Tūruki, panake, pana. Hara mai te toki, haumi e, hui e, kai ki. E te pihopa ka mihira kia koe. Nau hari te arawhata mō tātou katoa, kia pai ai tō tātou noho tahi, kia pai ai te haere o ngā kōrero, kia pai hoki te whanaunga ki te whanaunga. Nō reira, ngā puhi whānui tonu te taitokerau, te iwi o taitokerau, tēnā rā kouta. Mihi mai, whakatau mai, me ki te iti me tera. Te kāwanatanga, tō tātou piri mea, Jacinda Ardern, ki wainganui hoki me ki ia tātou katoa i tēnei rā. Mihi kau ana ki te kaupapa o tera. Tahi mono warurau whātakau, ngā koutou te rahi o ngā tūpuna, i haina, i te kawenata, kia noho tahi, tūtahi te Māori ki te taho te pake. Ahakoa ngā rerekētanga kei roto i tērā pepa, engari e mohi ana tātou te Māori kei whea tō tātou tūranga wāwai. O reira mihi mai, te tupuna whare tū nei, te runanga, o tira ngā waka e whitu ko tau mai nei i tēnei rau. Mai te mōna nui a kiwa, pu tātou ki te awa whānui tū. Ka mihi atu anō rā ahau nei ki tōku kiingi, ki tō tātou kiingi atu heitia. E noho mai rā e runge te ahure wa tapu no tūpuna na mātua. Ki te whare o pōta tau hoki mai ki tātou katoa e tēnei. No reire aku rangatira, ko haere mai rā tēnei maramara o te waka o Tainui, ki te taha o te prehitini o te wāhine Māori toko ki te ora. Pūkapua. Tēnei mokopuna o te arawa waka Ngāti Whakaue, o tira tatu atu ki tūranga nui a kiwa, Ngāti Porou, me kahungunu. Nā, ko kawe mai e ia, tono rōpū, ki te tautoko anō rā i tēnei hui. Ki te tautoko. Ia tau, ko koutou tēnei e tiaki nei tēnei me ki hui ngā whakahirahira mō tātou te iwi o Aotearoa. Reira mihi mai ki ngā rōpū ko kawea mai nei e ia Aotea waka i ka roa. Tāmaki makaurau, Tainui waka, te taitokerau, te tai rāwhiti, me te wai pounamu hoki, me wai ariki. Kawe ware anō rā tātou, ki tērā rōpū, e noho mai rā i ahi te reire a te urupu. Nō reira, e aku rangatira, ngā hui, ngā tangata, ngā waka e whitu kei wainui a tātou, ki te atu i a koe e tumu, nā ka koho ki te ngā kau. Ahakoa ngā huatanga katoa mō tātou. Engari hone, te matua hone, o haere tērā rangatira. Engari kei te maumahara tonu au te o ngō kōrero i tūranga waiwai, i te o ngā hui ngō te kiingi, ko koutou ngā tuakana. O reira, me ki te kōrero pēnei ngā tuakana, mihi mai, ki ngā teina, me ki kia pai tonu tō tātou whakawhananga ki wanginui a tātou. Nō reira, kei te haere hoki tonu ngā mahara ki tō tātou kahuragi, whina kupa. E te moka i tū mai rā ki te kōrero, tērā au wahine e ou, i te taha o tō whānau, ka mihi rā ki a koe. Tika ana anō rā, engari pēa kia ū tō koutou kōrero mo te ingoa, nā te mea kei puta mai te piri mea ki roto o Tainui, ka rekore he ingoa nō kei rei. Ka rekore. Engari, o tātou e whakanui nei tēnei rā. O reira, ki te tahoki o whina kupa i ona wā, ko tō mātou tipuna whaia te puia he rangi, he whakaruru hau. Kaiho mai ki te tiari ki te pairu, i tēnei wā tonu ko te makau ariki te ata whaipaki. Nō reira, e poto te tangata, e poto hoki te kakau o tēnei paipa, e aku rangatira koutou katoa, huri noa, tēnā koutou, kia ora rā tātou katoa. E kōrero whakamutu ngā mihi rā ki te kāweri ki te wainguri a tātou. O ti rā kia koe Jacinda, e mihi mai ana a Prue Kapua, kia koe mo tō whakawātea i a koe. Kia hono tahi me ki te kōrero pēnei koutou te mana wahine, ki te kōrero rero i ngā huatanga maha. Kei mua hoki a koutou te kāwana, i mua hoki te rōpū wāhine Māori toko ki te ora i tēnei tau. No reire aku ranga te āpiti hono, tātai hono, te hunga wairua kia rātou, āpiti hono, tātai hono. Te hunga ora, huri noa, tātou kia tātou, tēnā koutou, a kia ora rā tātou katoa.
Ngā puhi nui tonu, tai toke rau, Aotearoa, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. E hiri, te harihari o mātua, tērā no ngā wakatakitaki ko whakatutua, ko whakatikitiki, whakaterea ki piko I whiti. Tae nei a hau nui te hinganga o mātuku tango kāea te patunga o wahi e roa. Ta hona kau nei a kahukura titia ko pikirangi ko kakerangi kapo mai te whetu o te ata. Rere nei ngā hihi o tamanui tērā kāhua te kai, kāhua te kupu, kāhua te tangata e tū kirunga. Tēnei te whakangao ko te ngā kau pewa ko tīrea ko te rā kau nui kāhore e oki nei āhina. Māhura mai ko te toka e kia nei ko tāpeka, he aha, he whakaahuru. Haunga mai ki he puke poro rua whakapātaritari, au e ua kina nei ngā mutu mai oro o te tiriti o Waitangi e. Mihi mai, ko pau te katoa ngā kōrero, e roto i a koutou ko moka, taku matua,
A kono mga kahia, kay aia te mauri kōrero I tēnei rā, moro māhoi, ko e kato I a koutou ngā kōrero, nā reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Prime Minister, I want to join with my relatives here and welcome you also to Waitangi. You have certainly put a smile on the face of Waitangi today. To all of the visitors at Waitangi who have come to support the kaupapa, it was in 1985 I was perched on that branch, on that tree, with a furious Winston Peters looking up, but hey, look what time does. It heals everything. James, Mr. Joyce, thank you for opening the speeches with our Māori language, a reminder that is the language of the motu, all of our language. After all, we have to practice pronouncing difficult words such as pai kākāriki, the perch of the green parrot, unnervingly close to me today. But I would say the expression green parrot lies at the heart of good governance. Nā reira e kore nei mihi oku e tino maha atu, hoi nāno ko manaki tia tātou I roto I tēnei rangi. Aha ko ngā tau ka pahe mo ki muri, ko tā tātou purihia te ihu o te waka, whakaterengia hoia ki te whiting o te rā. Kau o ko te tōringitanga. Bishop, tutuki a koe ngā kupu, whakarete mai o tātou mātua ko te hāpai o te tahi kaupapa, engari te mutunga ko te amorangi, ko te amokura. Uncle Hector Busby, not for me to say a relic of the past, but when we see you, we're reminded of all the generations that embraced Waitangi in the days of Pēni Henare's grandfather, Sir James Henare, his great-grandfather, responsible for the erection of this beautiful meeting house. So to all of New Zealanders, history travels on through the veins of the people of the North, but we are only custodians for the gift of our ancestors, the Treaty of Waitangi. Tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. Tāti rātou kia rātou, tātou kia tātou, kia tauga manaki tanga, kia ora tātou katoa.
E tātou mā, e poto tēnei tū I te mea e tatari ana te motu ki te rongo I ngā kōrero o tō tātou Premier a Jacinda Ardern. Engari, hei mua I tēnā, e hiana hau te king. Mai te timatango tēnei pōhiri, mai I ngā wero I te karanga, mai I ngā kōrero, mai I ngā rangatahi, taino ki ngā kaumātua me ngā kōrero,
Ko kitea tātou te mana, te ihi, te wehi o ngā puhi e whakaatu ana ki te motu whānui, nā reira e puku pai ana tōku hāte ngā puhi, tēnā rā koutou, tēnā rā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa. Nā, ka hotua e au tēnei wahanga ki te premier, ka muti wana kōrero ka whakahokia te mana kia koutou. Tēnā rā tātou.
Kei aku nui, kei aku rahi, tēnā koutou katoa. Haere mai tātou ki tēnei rā nui, kei tēnei rā o Waitangi. E koa anu ahau, ke te tai pēne mai, me taku arahi. Hi kāwenga rangatira, kua tukuna mai. Aku mihi anu hoki mō ngā kupu whakatau i a mātou katoa. I want to begin by acknowledging mana whenua, Ngāti Kawa, Ngāti Rahiri, and of course Ngāpui. I want to acknowledge the members of the Waitangi National Trust who sit to my right today, and particularly those to my left who have shepherded me warmly onto the whare today. I do not take lightly the privilege extended to me to speak from this veranda today, not only as Prime Minister, but as a wahine. Tēnā koutou katoa. I also acknowledge those who joined me as we walked on this marae today. I acknowledge particularly Te Rōpū Reipa, all of my team, who I'm immensely proud to stand alongside. I'm particularly proud to stand alongside the largest Māori contingent of MPs that our party has seen. And it is not just the numbers that matter, it is the fact that each and every one of them are from amongst their people and represent their people. I don't know if you've noticed, but our waiata has also improved considerably from last year. I also acknowledge the other members of this government. It is made up of three parties. Our coalition partners, New Zealand First, Deputy Prime Minister Winston Peters, I acknowledged you, and Shane Jones, who has spoken on behalf of New Zealand First today. And our confidence and supply partners, the New Zealand Green Party, and all their MPs who have joined us today. As a government, we have been here for 5 days. I have not been on my own. We did not come simply for the beauty and the hospitality of the North. We came because there is work to do, much mahi to do. And we will only achieve what needs to be done together. So in those 5 days, we have talked about education, health, employment, roads, housing. But now we must take the talk to action. This is the beginning for our government, and I thank you. We also bring with us a special role in the Minister Kelvin Davis, who holds for the first time the portfolio of Crown Māori relations. We did not create that role lightly. As we discuss here with Ngāpui, the treaty settlement before us, within our sights, we have to also start thinking of a nation of What extends beyond the negotiating table? That is not the end of our relationship, nor is it the end of the Crown's responsibility. Each agreement we have signed so far contains 7,000 commitments. We must be diligent about upholding each of them. We have created the portfolio of Crown Māori relations as an acknowledgement that our relationship goes beyond the negotiating table, and it will continue on with strength and with hope. I also acknowledge the opposition members who have journeyed on in the marae with us today in what seems a historic moment for all of the Parliament to be represented here together. As I stand here, I have many memories of the many times that I have visited these beautiful grounds. Not always as a politician, but once as a child. In fact, my first time here, I was probably no more than 7 years old. My father brought his 2 daughters to the treaty grounds because he had a great love of history, and he wanted us to learn the history of the place we were living and lucky enough to call home. I remember standing out on the grounds, and after we had finished the tour, he did something very unusual and gave to me and my sister the family camera in order to catch a snap as he posed with my mother out on the edge of the grounds. And he did something that only a father could do to completely shame his 2 daughters. Just as I was about to take the photo, he grabbed my mother in the most public display of affection, kissed her full on the lips just as I took the photo, embarrassing my sister and I completely. When I think of this story and all of the reasons that these grounds hold memories for me, I can't help think of the kinds of things I would want my child to think about as they come onto these grounds and to this place. My hope is that they know this place's history, that they know of the 28th of October and Whakaputunga, the Declaration of Independence. My hope is that they would know the history of Te Tiriti and what it meant for us as a nation, and that they know that those stories, as I was taught yesterday by Ngāti Manu, those stories may be hard to hear, but I'm certain they are even harder to tell. That is our history, and we must always be honest about our history and what it means for us. I hope that they know the history even of this place, where the Māori battalion here paraded as they heard the words that talked about the price of citizenship, and I look forward to us acknowledging the role of history for the battalion here in the future as well. That is the history I hope my child will know of this place, not just on this day, but for every day that they are lucky enough to call themselves a citizen in Aotearoa. But I also hope that they know what we value collectively, but what we're probably not always good at cherishing. I hope they know the importance of manaakitanga, lessons that I've been taught and observed by Māoridin over time, that the importance of hospitality, of generosity, of caring for one another, and that it is indeed possible to have a government that does that too, just as our people do. I hope that they know the value of kaitiakitanga, that we have a role as guardians of our environment, and if we want to look after our people, we must look after the earth as well and gift it better than what we found it. And I hope they know that we value the ability to speak frankly and openly to one another. Kānohi ke te kānohi, face to face. And we should never shy away from that, because if we don't speak freely, how do we change? And if we value that about ourselves as a nation, 364 days of the year, why would we not value it here at Waitangi? I will always maintain that we should not seek perfection on our national day. that speaking frankly and openly is not a sign of failure, but a sign of the health of our nation, and a sign that we must keep pushing to be better. I also hope that my child will know that we have the power to change, and we must change. Kaumatua spoke about the differences between these two whares on these grounds. And if you ask me the distance between this whare and the old homestead, is the difference between us as peoples, the inequality we still have. The distance between here and here is unemployment. It's rangatahi who don't have hope for their future. It's the poverty that exists amongst whānau. It's those rangatahi who don't have access to the mental health services, who take their lives. It's the fact that not everyone has a decent home, a decent place to live. And it's the incarceration of the Māori people disproportionately to everyone else. That is the distance between us. And so long as that exists, we have failed in our partnership. But I inherently believe in our power to change. And I hope not only that my child believes in that power too, but I hope that they will see the change for themselves. Now, we as a government, we know what we have to do. We know all of the failings that we have as a nation, but we won't always know exactly how to change it. For that, we will come to you. We will ask you to help us. We will form partnerships together because we cannot do it alone. And I can guarantee you, particularly as this government goes out to hui amongst everyone, that there will be no marae too small for us. There will be no marae where we don't ask for that help and to work alongside us. And I know that that's something that we have to now go forth from this place and prove to all of you. So when we return, in 1 year, in 3 years, I ask you to ask of us what we have done. Ask us how we have given dignity back to your whānau. Ask us what we have done to improve poverty for tamariki. Ask us what we have done to give rangatahi opportunities and jobs. Ask us, hold us to account. Because one day I want to be able to tell my child that I earned the right to stand here. And only you can tell me when I have done that. So for now, I finish with the wise words I've heard from Ngāi Tahu before. Mō tātou, a mōko ka uri, a muri aki nei, for us and for our children after us. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Political discussion, but if these poverty targets are not to have that degree of independence, then I don't think they'll bed in and be part of our political discourse in the way that they should be. Let's look at National then. There was that brief 2-minute storm over the Nats leadership, which I think you, in your column on Friday in the NBR, regarded as a political sabotage act, Matthew. But there was that brief storm, and then that very night